Shot through a cannon. 8 years old, drowned at a local IMCA pool. Over in the deep end unsupervised. Suddenly awaken on the side of the pool, only then to see 2 lifeguards pulling my body out of the pool. CPR didn't work. 5 minutes later, I get put on a stretcher and wheeled off in the ambulance. The gravity of the situation or realization made me stuck where I was while my physical body was headed to the hospital and probably the morgue. As that realization of death sunk in, this intense sensation of a warm motherly presence started to materialize. Had no idea who she was, she just insisted that I stay calm, and there was nothing to worry about. She made me count backward from 5. At 1, I woke up in the ambulance. It's worth noting that me waking up was the sensation of being shot through a cannon from the pool, where I drowned, to down the street into the ambulance. Knock it off. I was taken in for an emergency hysterectomy, and they had to give me 11 units of blood. The night after the surgery, I continually would stop breathing, and they told me so they were expecting me to go into cardiac arrest at any time. I remember seeing my dead and sitting on the bedside while I felt my spirit lifting up out of bed. She looked at me and said, "Damn it, my name, it's not your time yet. Now knock it off." The wrong choice. When I was 8 years old, I was run over by a car. Ripped me off my feet, leg got caught in the wheel well, slammed my head into the concrete. Instant blackout. I remember walking floating through this blue tunnel, like a cave that was bright enough to see in. The tunnel wasn't smooth. It was natural, with overlapping layers. At the end, there was the white light that everyone talks about. Before I knew it, I was in it. A disembodied hand reached out to me, and though it was this warm, welcoming feeling, I knew I didn't want to go. It wasn't as if I was scared of what was waiting on the other side, I just felt it wasn't time to go yet. I remember audibly saying that I wasn't ready yet. I woke up in the ambulance, with the EMT hovering over me. Coming back into reality was slow going, and his voice was a groaning mockery of my choice. Everything's going to be all right. Combined with the darkness of the ambulance, though my refusal to go with whoever offered me their hand led me to a fate far worse than just dying. To be fair, I was a pretty crappy kid. Dimensional shift. Dimensional shift. A river of knowledge. A river of knowledge. A wise old tree. A wise old tree. 80 death. 80 death. Death is a dream. Home. Home. Surgery gone wrong. Surgery gone wrong. Old photographs. Old photographs. Hell. Midnight in the garden. I had an allergic reaction to something I ate and passed out while I was splashing water on my face. At some point, my heart stopped and got restarted while I was in the ambulance on the way to the hospital. I remember a feeling of being sucked backwards extremely slowly, like being pulled through water, and this blackness fading in and out. At one point it faded back in, and I was staring out at a garden. It wasn't filled with flowers, just dust and patchy grass. There was a playground with a merry-go-round in the middle, and 2 children running around it. A boy and a girl. It's difficult to describe, but I got the feeling that I could choose if I wanted to stay or leave, but every time I tried to go back I was held in place. I went through all the reasons I wanted to go back, and when I told the presence I didn't want to abandon my mother, whatever held me finally let go. I snapped back into my body. Heart had stopped for 6 minutes. Death is tempting. I was 15, had been through about 3-4 months of chemotherapy. I'd had a nosebleed on and off throughout the day, and then after I went to bed it just kept on going. I couldn't sleep, just had to keep lying there, mopping my nose and sneezing out these rubbery little blood clots. At about 2 a.m., I started to feel sick, so I reached for the container. I always had one by my bed because the meds I was on gave me really bad morning sickness and threw up. It was a thick, dark red. After that, I only remember what happened in short bursts. I think my mom had got up to go to the bathroom, and I managed to hit the wall loud enough for her to hear. She came in and there was blood everywhere, coming out my nose and mouth. Real horror show. And I remember a paramedic being there, trying to help me out of the bed. I must have collapsed against the wall after that, because next time I came round I was strapped to a stretcher, and they were taking me downstairs. Then I was in the hospital, surrounded by about 6 doctors with these huge lights pointed right at me. It was to try and keep me warm because I'd lost so much blood. I could feel myself sweating, but I was still cold. It was a weird feeling. One of the doctors cauterized my nose, and I definitely felt that it hurt like a mother asterisk seeker, even compared to my insides tearing themselves apart with sepsis and difficile. The doctor who did it was so nervous that he pushed the white-hot material they use for cauterization right through my septum. I still have the hole today. The worst part of it all, looking back, is how peaceful it can seem. When I started vomiting blood, I went into shock. Hitting the wall to get my mom's attention was a subconscious thing. The rest of me just stopped caring. When the doctors were trying to save my life, I just wanted to black out again. I didn't want the lights to hurt my eyes, and the doctors to hurt the rest of me anymore. The unconsciousness seemed easier. And that's how it felt when I was in the ICU for a few weeks after that, doped up on ketamine, and slipping in and out of life. Being asleep was easy, being awake meant more pain and less dignity. So if you want to know what it's like to be that close to death, it's tempting. It's like wanting to hit the snooze button on your alarm at 7 a.m. And maybe you do hit it once or twice, but then you remember that you have work or school, and that sleep can wait because you've still got sh*t to do. A conversation with God. I had been very depressed for a while and decided it was time to go. I downed a sh*t ton of pills and washed them down with a ton of rum. While dead, I was in a completely dark area all alone. The peace I felt in this area was amazing. I found myself talking to a mysterious voice who told me he was God. We talked for what felt like an entire lifetime. He told me my heaven was this dark, secluded area where I could finally be at peace. We also talked about nearly everything that had to do with anything. He ended with telling me that I couldn't stay because I still had business to take care of. Before I awoke, he told me I couldn't tell anyone of what we spoke about. When I woke up, my body felt healthier than I had ever felt, and I had this peace about me that hasn't gone away. I feel like I can remember what we spoke about, I just can't put it in words. I equate it to trying to describe a new color to someone. Anyways, I haven't been nearly as depressed since then, and I completely took control of my life for the better.
Hey guys, thank you so much for the support and likes and comments down below, and also thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to see you in the next video. Then take care, bye.